Do you remember this feeling? The crinkle of a paper map, the smell of fresh ink, and that disposable camera hanging on your wrist? Remember showing up with your family and just seeing where the day would take you? There was a time, not so long ago, when a trip to Disney World was an escape from screens, not an exercise in staring at them. I'm Lee with All About the Duck, and this is episode 2 in our Disney Used to Do This Better series. Let's journey back to a Walt Disney World before smartphones, before Genie Plus, and before every minute of your day was scheduled. We're going back to a time when the magic was found in the moment, not on an app. This is what it was really like. Before the early 2010s, a Disney World vacation just felt different. Many remember it as a simpler, maybe even more relaxing. The trip didn't start with app downloads and Wi Fi passwords. It started with a physical ticket you actually held in your hand. There was no digital key on your phone. You used a plastic card with a magnetic stripe. And most important piece of tech you got wasn't an app, it was a folded paper map you grabbed at the park entrance. That map was your lifeline. There were no real time wait times blinking in your pocket. If you wanted to know how the line for Peter Pan's flight was, you had to walk over to Fantasyland and see for yourself. This meant your day had a natural flowing rhythm. You wandered from one land to another, making decisions based on what you saw, not on what an algorithm suggested. Sometimes you'd stumble on an attraction with no line at all, a happy accident that felt like your own secret. And if you wanted to split up, no group chat, you just pull out a map and pick a landmark and say, okay, meet at Cinderella's castle at 3 o'clock and don't be late. And you weren't because you couldn't be. It taught you a different kind of awareness. Then came the waiting. Before 1999, every line was a standby line. You just got in and waited. But as the parks got busier, Disney introduced the original FastPass system. It was a game changer, but still wonderfully analog. You'd walk to the ride, put your park ticket in the kiosk, and then get a little paper slip with a return time. Then you'd literally run across the park to get another fast pass, juggling paper tickets and trying to make the times work. It had its own stress, sure, but it kept you moving and experiencing the park instead of staring at a phone endlessly refreshing a screen. In a world without smartphones, taking a picture is a deliberate choice. Most of us roam the parks with a couple of disposable cameras we bought on Main Street. With only a 24 or 27 shots, you didn't waste them. You saved your pictures for the big moments. A photo in front of the castle, a hug from Mickey, the whole family crammed into a Dumbo elephant. There was no selfies. If you wanted a group photo, you had to find a stranger or a Disney Photo Pass photographer and ask them, could you please take our picture? Because of this, photos from that time feel more genuine. They aren't perfectly curated for Instagram, they're simple, honest records of a shared moment. This is another huge benefit. It keeps the rides immersive. Today, the pitch black of Space Mountain is often ruined by bright phone screens or a camera flash, breaking the illusion. Before smartphones, you were just there. You were fully present with no notifications pulling you away. The memories were made with your own eyes, not through a screen. And when the ride was over, the memory wasn't on a cloud, it was in your head. And maybe one precious photo you'd have to wait a week or two to get developed. We're taking you on a trip down memory lane. And if these memories are hitting home, it really helps us out if you take a second to subscribe and like. We love exploring the history of the parks, and we'd love for you to join us so you don't miss out. The pre smartphone era also created a different kind of social vibe. Standing in line for an hour wasn't a time to scroll through social media, it was a time to actually talk. You chat with your family, play I Spy, or even strike up a conversation with the strangers next to you, all bonding over a shared wait. The parks felt more communal, filled with people looking up and around, not down at their hands. Even getting a snack was different. There were no mobile ordering. If you wanted a Dole Whip, you walked up to the counter, stood in line, and talked to a cast member. While mobile ordering is convenient, it can also feel sterile and transactional, and it can shut down completely if there's an outage. The old way was slower, but it also felt more personal. Spontaneity was everything. You could be walking through Adventureland and suddenly Captain Hook and Mr. Smee would just appear. Not for a scheduled meet and greet with a roped off line, but just interacting with guests. These random character encounters were pure magic. You could also find quiet corners of the park that were almost impossible to imagine today, like an empty penny arcade on Main Street or a peaceful moment in a quiet Epcot pavilion. So, how did we get from that world to this one? The shift didn't happen overnight. It started with those paper fast passes in 1999, which was Disney's first big attempt to manage crowds with tech. Then in 2004, the Photo Pass system launched, letting guests see their photos online after their trip, a bridge between the physical and digital worlds. But the real tipping point was in 2013 with the launch of the My Disney Experience app and Magic Bands. Suddenly, your park ticket, room key, and credit card were all on a bracelet, tracked by a RFID sensor. For the first time, a smartphone became a truly powerful tool for your Disney trip. You could check wait times, make dining reservations, and see photos almost instantly. This was the beginning of the end of the analog era. The convenience was undeniable, but it also came at a price. The park experience started shifting from one of spontaneous discovery to one of meticulous digital planning. The pressure was no longer just to have fun, but to optimize your fun. Today, a smartphone feels absolutely essential for a Disney World visit. It holds your tickets, your dining reservations, your spot and virtual queues, and your access to the Lightning Lane system that replaced FastPass. For a lot of people, a day in the park means constantly refreshing the Genie Plus app to lock in the next ride, and an experience some find pretty stressful. There's no denying the benefits of modern technology. It helps manage the massive crowds that visit the parks every year. But you have to wonder if something important was lost along the way. That old school simplicity created a sense of presence and relaxation that's much harder to find today. It was a time when the goal was just to be there, completely immersed, without digital distractions. The magic was in the shared, uninterrupted moments, the laughter in a long line, the surprise of a short one, and the simple joy of unfolding a paper map to decide where your adventure would take you next. The era might be over, but the nostalgia for it is powerful. It's a good reminder that while technology can enhance an experience, the most magical part of Disney has always been the people you're with and the memories you make together in that moment. If this is the Disney World you fell in love with, you're going to want to subscribe. This entire series is about the Disney World we miss and why it mattered. And in the next episode, we're taking you on how Disney World used to reward curiosity. Now it rewards planning. What are your favorite memories of the pre smartphone Disney World? Share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, see you real soon.